Hi trader, welcome to Elite Currency. Today's focus is on the pound USD. Is there a reversal at this moment or will the downtrend continue? That's my focus of today's video. Let's start. Let's start with the pound dollar monthly chart, and you can see that price has been, of course, in a downtrend for a couple of years since this turning spot here almost 3 years, exactly 3 years ago. In fact, the downtrend has lasted. But now we have seen already 7-8 months of candles not breaking for a lower low. So after that many candles, I typically, when looking at my time factor rule, consider the swing to be completed, which means that this particular bearish swing is over from my time factor perspective and theory. So what does that mean? The bearish swing is over. Is that means that the downtrend is over? Not necessarily, but we might expect a decent bullish retracement. Now, from a wave perspective, this could be an A, B, C, or a 1, 2, 3. So from that perspective, whether it's an A, B, C, or 1, 2, 3, price would have to break above this bottom to really invalidate the 1, 2, 3. So that will take some time. Unfortunately, I don't think we should wait for that. Before that happens, there's a lot of movement that could happen in between. But what we do know, though, is that there's good space for an upside retracement, even if this is a correction within a downtrend, or this is perhaps a bullish reversal. So my point is, both scenarios, there's a good chance of some upside before we might see some downside. If this is a bigger reversal, by the way, and this does complete an ABC to the downside, right, then there's a good chance that this is going to be an A, B, C like this as well. Or price might turn here and start a new downtrend. So somewhere along the line here, there could be a resistance spot that is important to note and could stop price and turn it back down. So until that point, it looks bullish, but we have to be aware of that point. We'll analyze what that point could be on the weekly chart. So we see a long-term moving average. We see bottoms here on the left, and we see Murray Math levels. And what does that say? Well, that for the moment, I think that there's a good chance price could get up to the next resistance, which is 135, then 137.50, and perhaps even 140. Because if you look at that long-term moving average plus this bottom right in here, there is that space before we hit those types of resistance levels. So price is now just broken above 130. Last week we saw a bullish candle breaking above 130. Of course, 130 stopped price for a couple of weeks here. Price going first a bit down, then slowly but surely breaking to the upside. Last week was a good breakout candle, and Friday was a good breakout daily candle. So look at that high, both highs in fact, near the close. That means that the bulls remained in control, kept the power, and are looking to continue probably to the upside this week. As you can see here, this is a continuation of the momentum that we see on the weekly chart. So from this perspective, good weekly candles, good daily candles. And I think that there's a good chance for price, now that it broke above 130, to get up to 135, 137.50, and perhaps 140. Now, price can get to that level, right, as we already said, without necessarily changing the wave structure. It could be both. The critical level here is at 145, 146. So price could go all the way up to that 135, 140 level, and it could still be a downtrend on the larger time frames, in fact. Or, of course, it could still be a reversal. That will depend on how price responds to 135.40 zone, and will it basically bounce again when it gets down to support. Those are the two main questions that we'll have to keep an eye on. If price breaks above 140, I do think that in that case, there's a higher chance of a bullish reversal, because in that case, if we put a fib from here to here, then we're looking at, well, roughly speaking, 138, 38.2 is 138-ish. So from that perspective, we can see that if price breaks above 140, that perhaps a bearish retracement is not as likely anymore. So key level till now, space up to 135.40. Then if price breaks, looking like a bullish reversal. If price stops, and then it depends on how price moves down, and then how it tests the support. Will it break through the support? We're definitely in a downtrend. If it bounces, if there's a choppy move and there's a bounce, then there's a bigger reversal going on. So those are the key levels, I think, for the long-term perspective of the pound. On the daily chart, you see everything green, the multiple time frame indicator at the bottom, which is part of the SWOT system, showing green, 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 and definitely uptrend at this moment. And you can see good trending scenario with these moving averages as well, with this particular price break to the upside. It already broke this trend line, of course, now broke the resistance trend line. So from my perspective, putting a fib from here to here and looking for a bit of a pullback to the 38.2 fib, the 50 fib at 130, 130.50 for a continuation higher, eventually to 135, but the intermediate targets, the minus 272 and the minus 61.8 target at 131.50 and 132.50 seem to be the intermediate targets for a 1 hour and a 4 hour world. And I would expect that the broken resistance will act as an extra support layer. So I think that specifically the 130.50 could probably be more interesting even than perhaps 130, but 130 of course also is the round level. So anywhere in that zone, I expect to see support. So the retracement could end there, and then boom, I would expect the continuation higher. I would not expect price to retrace below the 61.8 fib at 129.88, so not below 129.75, let's say. And could price bounce right here? Perhaps. It's possible, and I'll keep an eye on that. But I think that for the moment, price will not break above this, and I think we will see kind of a bull flag chart pattern appear, and then a continuation. Thanks for joining this video. Hope to see you, of course, across our social media too. Please share, like, and subscribe. Thanks. Wish you good trading. Cheers.